Experience pure Italian goodness, the real test of Italy.
Italian lifestyle, Italian design, Italian culture in London. This is The Italian Factor, and I am Gabriella, your host, joining you in this journey of Made in Italy.
Italian style.
Quite fashionable. Very chic.
Buongiorno. Italian people as being quite friendly, quite outgoing.
They have a slower pace of life.
Grazie, tutto bene.
It is an amazing country.
I think Italian food is really easy on the palate.
Italians are definitely beautiful. Oh, for sure.
Federico Fellini used to say, la vita è una combinazione di pasta e magia. Life is a combination of pasta and magic. And to talk about the magic of pasta, I have invited Anna Margaritelli, export director at Barilla and a UK project leader. To begin, you could have worked with any other company. Why did you decide to work with the food industry, and why did you decide to work with Barilla company?
Well, Gabriella, I was born in Parma, a small city at the heart of the food valley in Italy. And guess what? Barilla also is in Italy, in Parma. Well, we have to go back more than 30 years when I was interviewed by the former president, Mr. Pietro Barilla. I couldn't believe my luck because that was the brand and the food I grew up with. A Barilla Blue Box was always in our cupboard. So I was very lucky, and I would even have taken the job with zero salary, but I didn't tell him at that time.
So Anna, 3 words to describe pasta.
Pasta is good for you, pasta is good for the planet, and pasta is quick and chic.
Pasta. Finally. I was wondering when we were going to talk about pasta on The Italian Factor, and today is that day. We are going to talk about the Italians' greatest love. Okay, no, hang on. I'm just being told by the director it's actually their second greatest love behind their mums, which makes sense. Either way, here are our top 5 fun facts about pasta. Now, if you want to make an Italian angry, just tell them that the Chinese invented pasta and that it was brought over by Marco Polo in the 1300s. It drives them mad, mainly because it's not true. The Etruscans, an Italian population, were eating pasta before Christ was even born, and spaghetti was invented in Sicily a couple of centuries before Marco Polo even returned from China. So be careful what you say. Italians, they can be pretty sensitive about it all. Pasta is one of the most popular foods in the world. Just try this simple experiment. Go onto Google and type in a name of some food and see how many results come up. Now type in pasta. You get 336 million results. It's the second most cited food in the entire world behind pizza, which gets 673 million results. The Italians really do have the bragging rights when it comes to food. The Italians are sometimes called mangia spaghetti, which means the spaghetti eaters. Now, that term can be seen as derogatory, but there is some truth in it. On average, an Italian will consume 26 kilos of pasta every year. It's the country that eats the most spaghetti. Also, the greatest producer of pasta, an Italian brand, Barilla, will produce over 1 million tons of pasta each year. A huge amount of spaghetti is produced around the world every year. Now, if you line them up end to end, they would cover a distance of 75 million kilometers. That's half the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Move over, Mars rover. Spaghetti's in town. Meatball pasta is not an Italian dish. If you want to eat meat and pasta together, then you probably want to make a ragu, which is a tomato and mincemeat-based sauce. Don't even bother trying to order meatballs and pasta when you're in Italy, because the chef would probably have an un coccolone. Now, what does coccolone mean in English? It means a nervous breakdown. But coccolone sounds better.
There are also some pasta skeptics. For example, there are those who say pasta is fattening. Why do they think this, and what is the truth behind this matter?
Well, Gabriella, there are misconceptions about carbohydrate. Pasta is a good carb with a low GI. You are a sports people, so you know that you need energy over a long period of time, and pasta helps you in this. If you had to do a marathon, well, definitely you would eat pasta before your run. But the secret, you know, is always the portion.
How much do you think foreigners actually know about Italian pasta, how to cook it and how to eat it?
It is true that outside of Italy, you know, people may not exactly follow our golden rules, but you know, there are local habits that somehow we also have to respect, I think. And I always suggest do as Italians do. Choose Barilla.
Right? So never use your fork against
In a spoon.
your spoon.
You're very right, Gabriella.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Strictly Come Testing, the part of the show where me, Ivan Berry, goes around and asks Londoners how much they know about today's topic. And today's topic is pasta. Well done. You already got the first question right. Pasta needs to be very well cooked and very soft.
False. Oh, false.
False.
Al dente.
False.
Pasta has to be al dente.
True.
True.
But I guess it's on your palate.
False. Pasta needs to be cooked al dente, which means it's soft on the outside and just a little bit hard on the inside. And real Italians, they don't even use a watch when they're cooking. They don't time that stuff. It's a bit like Luke Skywalker and the Force, right? It's intuitive. They just know. Anyway. Spaghetti has to be eaten with a fork.
True. False.
False.
All right, I'll go through on that.
Yeah, true.
True.
No, you can eat it with a spoon, but true?
True. Very true. Although, a few centuries ago, people used to eat spaghetti with their bare hands, especially aristocrats, whose forks were so well kept and so sharp that it actually hurt when they ate spaghetti with them. You have to put a bit of oil in the boiling water to make sure the pasta doesn't stick.
I've done that before.
True.
Yeah.
False.
That would be smart.
You can oil the pasta afterwards, but not during.
I'd say true.
And then I put olive oil once it's out of the water.
I have always put oil.
This is false. This is what the Italians would say the foreigners do. I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't actually work. It's much better to stir the pasta with a wooden spoon than add the sauce when it's ready. Lasagna was invented in 1923 by Italian chef Salvatore Schillaci.
I have no idea. I'll go with true.
True.
I'm gonna say false.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I'd have to say true.
True.
I'm going to guess true.
False. Cicerone and Horatio had already praised those thin strips of pasta, laganum or lasagna, 100 years before Christ was even born. And Salvatore Schillaci was actually the top scorer for the Italians in the 1990 World Cup. Does pasta prevent stress?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, true.
True. 100% true.
Sounds too good to be not true.
True.
False.
Very true. Firstly, because it makes you feel good, but also it's packed full of B vitamin, which is really good for the nervous system. Also, the starch in pasta releases glucose, which is one of the key components in making serotonin. That's the wellness hormone. Buon appetito!
What are the most popular pasta dishes in restaurants and why do you think this is?
Okay, if we look at menus in Italian restaurants, I mean in Italy, we can see the strong relation between the recipes they offer and the region where the restaurant works. And this is because basically there is no such thing as the Italian cuisine, but there is a wide array of flavors linked to the tradition of each single region. When we go outside of Italy, there are actually 5 or 6 recipes that define the Italian cuisine. So to name a few, we have carbonara, we have penne all'arrabbiata, we have lasagne alla bolognese. And this, I think, is because these are all delicious food, very widely accepted across the globe.
And what about the UK?
In the UK, I would say lasagne is definitely one of the most widespread.
Giuseppe.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? You okay?
Fine, thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's a great honour. I mean, tell us firstly about your restaurant that you have in Italy.
Yes, I have a restaurant in Verona, in Garda Lake. It's the restaurant now in 2010 I the star Michelin.
And it's fair to say that you're a big pasta fan.
In Italy, give you the pasta before the milk.
So you're going to be cooking for some chefs later. You're going to be cooking one of your own recipes. Can you tell us what recipe you're going to be doing?
The recipe is fusilli pasta with cream of parsley and cream of clams and sea urchins. I prepare a cream of persil to give a fresh taste, made with persil and potato. Then the clams. After opening the clams, I make this into the cream by blending them with. They're cooked in the liquid and just a little bit salt and pepper. Then I cook the pasta and the clams. Cream is the base and the persil cover this pasta. And then I add the sea urchins and dried seaweed and herbs.
I see. That sounds delicious.
Yes.
That's actually making me hungry.
Now it takes the pasta.
Yeah.
Experience pure Italian goodness, the real taste of Italy. Experience pure Italian goodness, the real taste of Italy.
Oh, pasta.
Freaking love it.
So I love Italian pasta.
3 words to define pasta.
Filling.
Nutritious.
Lovely.
Simple.
Memorable.
Delicate.
Tasty.
Spaghetti bolognese, pasta bake, tomatoes.
It's easy to just say the word pasta, but did you know there are over 100 different types of pasta out there? I certainly didn't. Is that too much? Am I going too much? Okay. Well, that's an obvious one. Spaghetti.
You did very well. You got that it was a spaghetti.
Excellent, good stuff.
But did you know what number?
I didn't know that spaghetti had a number.
This is spaghetti number 5. It goes from, say, number 1, which is like really thin spaghetti, like angel hair, to about number 9, which is bucatini, which is a spaghetti with a hole in the middle.
Noodles. Spaghetti noodles. Okay, so this one was a tough one for me because I thought you guys might be winding me up and put spaghetti in front of me again. So I went with, because I thought it was thinner, so I went with kind of noodles.
Well, you were kind of right because they are spaghetti.
Okay.
But they're the same size as before. They are spaghetti number 5. There is one difference though. They're whole wheat spaghetti.
Whole wheat?
Yeah, whole wheat spaghetti.
See, I didn't taste that. Like, what would I taste? How would I taste the difference?
Well, that's exactly the great thing about our Barilla spaghettis. You cannot taste the difference. So whole wheat spaghetti give you much more fibers than the normal spaghetti, around 20% of the fibers you need to consume daily.
Like pennellini? Pennelluni. I knew it had a P in the title.
Yeah.
And I went with pennellini or pennelloni?
Actually, you've changed what in Italian is penne, which is pen, to pennellone, which is like a brush.
A brush?
So the penne is where it takes its name. So penne in Italian is pen, and that actually reminds the old shape of a quill pen, the ones that used to be right.
This is fusilli.
So fusilli comes from the name fuso. Fuso is actually like a spindle, where in knitting you spin the wool around.
Oh, okay.
And that's also why it has that twisted shape, because it kind of the motion that the wool does around the spindle.
Does the shape influence the consumption of pasta?
Yes, I would say everybody loves spaghetti, no matter you are an Asian, a European, an American person, everybody would love it, and that's the point of entry. But as you progress in your consumption, you look for the variety, you want to be inspired, you follow the recipes. And this is where we, as an Italian company, as an ambassador of Italian food, can actually help the diffusion of different recipes, different way of eating pasta, never getting bored, because remember that there are more than 300 shapes of pasta available.
Pedrignano is the oldest and largest facility for Barilla, but not only for Barilla, is the largest production facility of dry pasta in the world. We are able to produce up to 350,000 metric tons of dry pasta a year, which means roughly 4 billion of dishes served a year. Producing pasta is quite an easy task because actually we use mainly two main raw materials, two main ingredients. One is semolina and the second is water. For semolina, we use 4 different kinds of semolina, and the differences are of the content of proteins or the granulometry of the semolina. The first production phase is the mixing phase, which is about surrounding the very small particles of semolina of water. The second phase is the shaping, so is how we make the right shape to our product. And this is made through a continuous extruding system which make the dough flowing throughout a die, and the die has specific inserts which give the shape to the dough. The third phase of production is the drying process. The pasta gets at the right point of humidity and at the right point of water content in terms of balancing the water with the rest of the semolina. Then we have packaging. We are able to produce up to 320 different SKUs coming out from this plant. We do really care about food safety. We have more than 250,000 of analyses per year. Most of them are related to the finished product, but the rest is made on raw materials and on packaging.
Can we trace a brief history of pasta in Italy?
Well, we really have to go back to Etruschi, you know, the ancestor of our population. So we actually go back 1 millennium before Christ. So pasta has a very long history and is still and yet a very modern dish. It was actually in the south of Italy that the production developed due to the very mild weather and the fantastic breeze that was coming from the sea, and it helped to dry the fresh pasta. In the north of Italy, we didn't enjoy that beautiful weather, so we actually had to invent the machine to dry pasta. And that's where the industrial phase started.
And now, since we've been served with a wonderful dish of Barilla pasta, we will enjoy it. Buon appetito!
Food industry has a big responsibility, because we give to the people some direction, some inspiration, and even some emotion. In our company, we always say that quality means give food to the people that is food that you would give to your children, because that is the maximum responsibility a person may have. The meaning of good food today is, of course, taste, a good nutritional values. We must preserve our health, so it must be a safe food. And most important now, it's the food has to be sustainable. And we, after many research, we identified a very simple symbol that is a double pyramid, that one is the opposite of the others, and on one we can see the food we have to eat more frequently, and on the side of this pyramid there is the environmental pyramid. That means that the food we have to consume most. And luckily we find out that pasta has a very low impact on the environment, because from the field to the dish is one of the food that is more efficient, with a lower CO2 emission, the very low utilization of water, and very low utilization of energy. For generation of Barilla is a quite long history. The next big things for us is to keep going. And when we look at the past, we say, okay, 140, why don't we go and look for 200, 300, 500? So it's a family company, and we feel we got the company as a gift in our hand, and we would like to give this gift at the next generation. But we want always to be a good company for everybody, for the community where we live, and for all the planet now, because that is the challenge we have in front.
Anna, usually our guests are British, so we ask them to repeat after me a tongue twister. Since you are Italian, we ask you to repeat a tongue twister, but very, very quickly. If you're ready, we'll begin. It's very difficult. Pisa pesa e pesta il pepe al Papa, il Papa pesa e pesta il pepe a Pisa.
Pisa pesa e pesta il pepe al Papa, il Papa pesa e pesta il pepe a Pisa.
No, too good. Very, very well. But now I have to translate it. And in English is Pisa waits and beats the pepper for the Pope waits and beats the pepper in Pisa. Pisa is obviously the Italian city, and the game is between the word waits, that in Italian sounds like a little bit like Pisa. And so, thank you. It has been a pleasure talking to you about pasta and my favorite dish of pasta that, as you said at the beginning, made me feel happy. So thank you so much. And one last question. What do you think, generally speaking, the Italian factor is?
The Italian factor is the passion and the creativity we put in everything we do, and especially on food, because we love food.
Thank you again. And as for us, there is still lots of Made in Italy to discover. And remember, if you don't know what makes something special, it's the Italian factor. See you soon. Ciao.
Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa, il Papa pesa e pesta il pepe a Pisa. Now it's your turn.
Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa.
Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa.
Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa.
Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa. Pisa pesa il pepe al Papa.
Il Papa pesa e pasta il pepe a Pisa.
Il Papa pesa a pasta il pepe a Pisa.
Il Papa pesa e pesta
Il pepe a Pisa.
Papa pesa e pesta il pepe a Pisa.
Il Papa pesa e pesta il pepe a Pisa.
Experience pure Italian goodness, the real taste of Italy.